This is the AC vents out of the 72 Charger, the blue one. This guy's pretty beat up. I gotta clean some primer spray I got on there. I have this one, which is from a satellite. I don't know where I got it. I've had it for years apparently, and this vent is good. So I have to figure out how to get this guy out and swap it with the other one. I'm doing it on this one because this guy's so busted up. If I damage it, it's not a big deal. So what it looks like to me, look in here, see the pin. It's like a button on this side, button on this side. I think the plastic just has to stretch over that, which is going to be a big ask, because to get this to stretch over that, we got to flex this without breaking it. And it's just, you know, it might have been able to do it when it was new and pliable, but it's so old and kind of brittle now. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's just go for it and hope for the best. Got a really thin screwdriver here. Those pins are pretty long. Holy crap. Come on, baby, don't break. I mean, it's screwing this guy up big time. Oh, did not like the sound of that. I'm just gonna break this off. Jeez, come on out of there. I wonder if these come out. What do you know? Dope. All right, well, that's how they come out. Looks like this guy is like a spring to push up against the sidewall, and it's just it's there to basically put tension on everything, so when you move this and adjust it, it's not just flopping in the wind. I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff in Evaporust, and we'll take the rest of them apart. I mean, we kind of destroyed this one to figure it out, but that's okay because it's already broken. It's such a shame this one's busted up, you know. The vents on this guy were actually really nice. So this is what I'm using, a pair of dikes. They're pretty flat on this end, and I'm basically going in here and squeezing and twisting to pull that pin out. See in here, that metal piece goes in there, keeps everything tight. Okay, so I could definitely see there's a pin right there. Should just be able to push it this way because it looks split right there in the middle, see? So I would think it should just be able to come straight out. Maybe that's going through the both of them. I probably got to pull this side off too. So it looks like it comes out like this. So once you get that outside pin out, you just push it forward and it comes out. This side should be the same. Push from the outside. I think that pin is just this way a little more. Okay, there it is. That stuff is not in here, and it was supposed to be in here. Okay, well, I found my missing parts, and I dug up some old model paint, silver. So basically I'm just going to retouch this edge of silver that used to be there, make it nice before we put it back in the dash. Looks pretty good. By the way, just to kind of show you how this works, this is the vent on the driver's side, left side of the dash, all the way next to the door. This guy here opens and closes the vents, allowing air in or shutting it off. This guy doesn't have the ability to completely close off like the vents inside the dash on the passenger side, but you can see you can direct it. All right, so let's go put this back in. Basically, that back side needs to slide into this duct right here. There you go. Kind of had to lean it down and then pull it up. All right, this is taking a ton of time. Anyway, I got some, overspray on it. I tried to clean it off and it took a lot of the brown off. So I need to repaint this thing. So I was hoping I wouldn't have to repaint it and I could just take these out, put the other vents in, you know, so it's like really fresh in my head how it came apart. Well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna have to take this stuff out, and I gotta pull this emblem off. That part doesn't look too hard. Go ahead and do that now. I think we just press from the back side. Even this is risky. It's just so fragile and it's old. And right in here is like not a whole lot of structural reinforcement or anything. I'm trying to squeeze the little metal rings on here to get them to collapse to go through the hole and give it a wiggle to push at the same time. Seems to be working, but it's slow. All right, I think we got it. Woo! See those metal clips? They're pretty rusty. We'll get this guy all painted up and looking nice. Goes quick when you've done it before, huh? Now we know how it goes together and comes apart. Yeah, that was like super easy. Now to see if I can get some paint. All right, so here's the AC vents that I pulled out of the 71 Charger. It's in pretty good shape, except does dip a little bit right here. But all the vents are in good shape. I could clean this up. I just need to paint the edges and throw it in the car. Or I could take this one, which I got some overspray on, and repaint it. So one thing I wanted to point out is, look at the color difference. So this is a 71, this is a 72. I don't know if this is a 71 color and this is a 72 color, or if, you know, this particular day the brown was on the light side and this particular day it was on the dark side. So I bought some paint. Not sure it's going to come out. It might be a little too dark, but I'm going to go ahead and probably spray on a practice piece and then compare it to this and see how it looks. If it looks decent, I'm going to go ahead and repaint this, put the vents back in it, paint the edges on those, and you know, end up reusing this one. This piece is out of a satellite, and miraculously I was able to pull the emblem out without breaking it. But mainly, and you can see I kind of scrubbed it so some of the paint came off, but if you look here on this edge, this is pretty virgin, and you can see it's even darker. So there's basically like 3 shades. That's the 71, this is 71 Charger, 72 Charger, and I'm gonna guess this came out of a 72 satellite because it's closer to this color. So if it's a year thing, then it's probably 72, but I don't know, maybe it's a 3 or 4. Maybe they change the color each year. I don't know the origin of this guy. I don't even remember where I got it. I think I got it out of a junkyard somewhere years ago. But at any rate, it's a different shade than both of these. So I'm not going to get too hung up on the color. I'm going to go ahead and spray it with this rattle can and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, check this out. This end right here is what I just repainted. And to be honest with you, I think it's damn near a perfect match to whatever this was. I honestly don't know. I think this is 71 color, and I think it did literally change from 71 to 72. But my assumption is I think 72, 3, and 4 are probably all the same. They're probably this color to this color, because, like I said, these guys are close, but this one seems a little bit darker. And so when I repaint this guy, it's going to come out that dark. As long as I do the cluster the same, it'll match, so I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, I like it. If you agree, you can get this from Ace Hardware. It's called Chocolate Brown Interior Exterior Premium Paint Primer. So there you go. And if you don't agree, that's fine. You don't have to agree. Do your own thing. Going back together. So these pins were already here. We didn't take those out. just the end ones. And then if you can see in there, you see that ledge that's there. These clip, or these guys, which kind of limit how far this rotates, they rest above that. And then there's a hole that the pin goes through, which goes, the pin also goes into this hole. There's the hole that the pin goes through from the outside. First, we got to check our orientation. We don't want to have this guy upside down. Cool. So I got the hole aligned with the pick. I gotta press this guy back in. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna hit that button. It's on a Donkey Kong. Again, see those little landings? They're gonna go that way towards the inside. Just kind of set it on like that. Push it. Last one. So this one I think is a little bit trickier because we don't have that center pin in there. All right, this side's a little different, just realizing. So if you look in here, see that little landing? The clip goes against that. There's no landing here. It's just a mutual pin. And then that landing there. So I thought the clip went on this landing, but it doesn't. And I know it doesn't because when I try to put this guy in here, the hole doesn't come anywhere close to aligning. It's way off. The clip was actually on this side. All right, I confirmed in the video. So yes, this guy goes on this side. And I know the direction on these are right because I still have this one assembled as my reference. Up and down. Open and close. Okay. All right, there we go. That's what we got so far. We got the silver on there. It's not perfect. I might go over it again, you know, let it dry, get a second pass on it. My edges is not perfectly straight. There is some imperfections, but all right, let me catch you up to speed here. This is a long distance to try to keep a paintbrush straight. You know, you basically have to do this in strokes, and some of the silver spilled over on top of the brown. So making what looks like a crooked line. So I've been going through with the Q-tip and thinner, basically like touching up these areas where some silver got on it, or where the line is wavy, and was able to remove some of the silver, but I have to repaint the line to try to get it even. And you can kind of see in here where there's not enough silver on this side, there's too much on that side, whatever. Anyway, put tape on it to make it straight. Should have did this in the first place. So we'll see if I can pull this off this time, do a better job. I'm also going to use a brand new brush. Probably going to have to fix some of these areas. All right, I'm a little worried about some of these spots and the paint kind of maybe getting between the tape. Hopefully it's sealed, but I don't know. We'll let that dry, we'll peel the tape, see what happens. Did work better, but I just got too much paint in this area. So I might have to clean this up with some Q-tips and thinner and then redo it. All right, well, there's hope. Having to do a little touch up. Some paint did kind of spill over. See if you could see that. Anyway, just basically dipping a Q-tip in the thinner, dragging it across this edge to take it off of the inside of the this panel. Okay, so let's see. You can see this edge I got kind of ugly because I had to touch it up. It's got messy in there. And I had some spillover, which I cleaned up with the Q-tips and thinner already. But I need to redo that edge. This edge I had the same problem. I cleaned it off, went with the Q-tips and thinner to clean the silver off of this edge, and then used this guy, which I got from Hobby Lobby. So it's silver paint, and put it on here. And then as you just saw, even though it went on way better than using a paintbrush, I did still get some thick areas which kind of spilled over the edge a little bit. And then I used Q-tips again, which you just saw, and I cleaned it up some more, and now it's like freaking very perfect. This edge is perfect. We're good. It's done. I'm going to hit this edge with the paint marker or whatever you want to call that thing, and I'll probably end up having to clean up this edge again, and that's fine. Okay, a little bit of the same, a little bit across the edge. So again, I'll clean this all up with, I'll let it dry first and then clean it up with some thinner. Pretty stoked with how this came out. This came out pretty nice. Look at that. Let me show you the screws. In case you took yours apart and you're trying to figure everything out, this is what the screw looks like for these guys. There is similar screws like this that are a little bit larger that go to the air ducts and stuff. So just keep that in mind. The smaller one is what goes behind this panel. Okay. All right, so keep in mind this dash is upside down. We're on the passenger side. There's the glove box. And I've got one screw in right here, holding that panel in so it doesn't fall out on me and break. I got another screw that goes here. Being very gentle because it's old plastic. You heard that creaking. I don't want to crack any of those. I think one of the posts is actually broken on this thing. All right, so between where the charger emblem is and the vent closest to the outer edge of the door is going to be a screw right here. And then on this side, above the ashtray, there's two screws, but the one on the bottom, or the boss, is broken on it. Can only get one in there. All right, we might have an issue. I don't know. I'm gonna have to put a longer screw in there, I think. So the problem is the dash cap is basically a little bit tighter around that guy, and it's preventing it from popping in. If it was vinyl, it would flex a lot easier and we'd be able to get it in there. I think what I'm gonna do is try to get a longer screw, put it in there and just snug it, not tighten it super hard. And we've got one right here, the outer edge. All right, everything seemed to be so good with the previous video, but this guy's just too tight right here in the corners. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the center screws out, pull this back out, and then I'm probably gonna trim the corners so that the dash cap has some ability to spread, flex out of the way, so we could push this in a little bit better. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut the video right here and basically keep it about restoring the AC panel that goes into the dash on the 71 to 74 Charger. Now, if you've been following along in this series, in the last video, I restored the dash pad by using a dash cap, which came out great. However, there is an issue. Make sure you watch the next video if you're considering a dash cap for your 71 to 74 B body, because you're gonna wanna watch out for this. You're gonna wanna prepare for it. You're gonna wanna try to mitigate any issues that you might have. Hopefully, I don't know how many videos from now, I'm hoping I'll fix that problem and we'll move forward.